Keith Brown. Brown also celebrating a birthday. The Blackhawks defenseman number 4, Brown, saying hello to Theo Fleury.
Well, Fleury, I tell you, he might be 5'6", 5'7", or whatever it is, but he plays bigger. And this is you can see that coming. Keith Brown says, okay, I'm going to run you into that post. I'm going to release you just at the right time. Defense would like to see their forwards set somebody up like that. He sure did it. But Fleury expects that, Jigs. He says he's going to play like a 6-footer, and he's going to take the extra banging.
McCowan. Here's Roberts on left wing. Now to Louvre. Lost it as he hit the Chicago line, and Newendijk takes a barrel roll hit.
He said a barrel roll at least. Look at him. Watch him twist and turn, land right on that shoulder. And I'm telling you, he's lucky he didn't get hurt.
Calgary picking it up again at the blue line. Ramage across to Newendijk. Breaks in on goal. He shoots. He scores! Now Conroy plays it to the corner. The referee has been hurt. Play is called. Don Koharski over on the far side of the ice. Started to get back to his skates and then collapsed. Bearcat Murray, the Calgary trainer, the bench closest to the injured official, is out to attend to him. We'll see what happens. This is what happened to Don Koharski.
Well, the Chicago player just got a stick behind him, just pulled him right down, slid heavily into the board. I don't know who that was. It's a right-handed.
Don Koharski still talking to Bearcat Murray. The off-ice official, the backup official that I mentioned, Bill McCreary, has asked the supervisor, John Ashley, whether they want to tack the 51 seconds onto the second period, call the intermission now. Koharski doesn't appear to be well at this moment. They're going to help him off the ice.
Well, I think it's good. Yeah, let's take the 51 seconds, tack it on to the second period, and go from there.
Bill McCreary will pick up the final 51 seconds of this opening period and the balance of the hockey game. There's the walkway leading from the Chicago dressing room. It's one of the things that I guess the players won't miss about a new arena. Coming from the dressing room, both up the stairs to begin the period and down the stairs following the period. The Blackhawks. And a look at the Calgary area. Now the Blackhawks leaving their dressing room. And it just hit the ice. Here come the Calgary Flames with the 2-0 lead.
But the power play has never found the right mix here, against Calgary.
Now another injury. This time Presley was off balance as he went back of the net. Went into the boards head first. His helmet came flying off. And now you see they're calling for the Chicago trainer. And we have just learned from the officials area that referee Don Koharski has been taken to hospital. He has just left Chicago Stadium in an ambulance. You look at Detroit native Wayne Presley favoring his right shoulder, it appears.
He went into the board sticks as you described. And I don't know if he's had any problems with the shoulders. In other words, a dislocation, they got to put it back in, or it pops, it comes out easy or whatever. Or maybe it's that possible dislocation. Sometimes in this rink, as you pointed out, it's only 72 feet from end zone, from board to board down there deep, and there's not a lot of room to maneuver. Again, you can see he's just being released at the right time.
Now to Dirk Graham, tips it to the left side, steps in around Ramage, but that puts the whole thing offside, and now some pushing and shoving. Dwayne Sutter and Lanny McDonald, and there's McCrimmon. Kaplinski right in the middle of it, along with Dirk Graham. And the linesmen, Gauthier and Finn, get most of them off to a safe distance. Hunter moves it out to center ice. Here's Hudson across the line, right into McGinnis. Now Troy Murray for the Blackhawks, sets it up, and Conroy scores! And goes in with it. It goes to McGinnis, over to Fleury. Fleury with a shot, he scores! Calgary gets to it. Newendijk centers, McCrimmon shot. Pass save by Chevrier, and a scuffle in front of the net. Teams were back to 6 aside when this took place. Referee Bill McCreary, right on top of the play, has indicated at least one penalty. And they're calling for the Calgary trainer, Jim Murray, to come out to attend to Huck and Lube.
Huck and Lube really got leveled. He went after that rebound. Chevrier was able to get it underneath him. McCrimmon really got to pull it off from that point. And again, almost for Lube, but boy, he paid a price by trying to get that rebound.
Got hurt. First of all will be the big pad save by Chevrier.
Well, he just got it both ways. Keith Brown came and just got a stick under his chin. And I think Troy Murray got him from behind, but he went down heavily. He's still down. But that's the price you got to pay. The goal scorers get hit like that. That's bloody nose alley, so to speak. But Chevrier made a great play by just able to soften his pads enough to deaden it, to control that rebound, taking that thing away from Lube.
Calgary going right back to the power play. And Keith Brown is out of this hockey game with a major penalty and a game misconduct. What a reaction shot.
That hurts
on the ropes.
No question. Here's a former number 1 draft choice in Chicago and with
Lube. Lays it up the left side. Gilmore hit solidly by Manson.
More difficult position in any sport. Watch this thing by Davey Manson. Shouldn't say Charlie. That's his nickname that this Hawks call him. But boy, did he hit Dougie Gilmore. He took him apart.
Gettis slaps it in around the boards. Mullen in after it. Got bumped. There's Gilmore. Mullen gets knocked down by Troy Murray. Mullen stays on the ice. And Bill McCurry calls the play. And out comes the Calgary trainer again. Jim Bearcat Murray getting a workout.
Troy Murray really speared him, Jigs. From this angle appeared, he speared him, but good. Gave him a shot. Joey Mullen is a leading candidate for the Lady Byng Trophy. He just took a shot along that boards there. This thing keeps up. McCreary's trying to control it. Koharski's trying to control it. Something is going to go on this thing because the Calgary players are not going to just stand for these things. You know, Davey Manson hitting Gilmore, no problem. But again, you live by the sword, you start dying by that sword. Joey Mullen, not one to take a dive. He'll fight you and he'll stand on his feet as much as anybody in this league. He went down heavily. He's in a lot of pain there. Again, McCurry didn't get a look at it. I'm sure he would have called it. Take a look at this play as it falls right through there. That's not going to give it to Joey. There goes bang. I said Spear was a good two-hander. And Joey went down heavily on that situation. And again, all of a sudden, the referees are saying, gee, they're down by 1, and they get, 2.5 minutes to go. I got to make sure that second penalty is a good one. Well, that was a good one right there, and it should have been called.
I don't think any of the officials on the ice saw what happened. There is no penalty. Plays it cross ice. It comes off the boards. McGinnis with a shot. McDonald there for the rebound. Now Neuendijk. And he's robbed. What a save by Chevrier. McDonald, Neuendijk, and Roberts now pushing in front of the goal mouth with several of the Blackhawks. But this after a great save by Chevrier.
That's for sure, Jake. What a great save by Chevrier. It appeared here through the traffic. Chevrier was able to get his stick down there, and Neuendijk saw it right on the ice. But if he'd have gone high, I think he would have had it. And again, obviously, that type of play and the puck in there, and the tempo and the tension of this game, and so much at stake, is going to draw a crowd. And they're starting to get a little bad feelings because of some hits. And this sign is a free agent of a small college.
We've got a Calgary player leaving the ice. You saw the reaction. Roberts trying to break the stick on the wall. Now tries the floor down by the Calgary dressing room. Playing to the line. Manson and McClellan pushing one another. Here's Hudson putting it in the slot. There was nobody there. Now Murray sets up Manson for a shot. The rebound. They bang it in.
This is good camera work. We'll get a little different picture of this thing here. He goes into him. Well, Slimer's just accepting that thing.
Yeah.
But I think that Neuendijk you've got his elbow caught on the top part of the dash or the boards there.
Right up to Greg Gilbert. Surrounded by red-shirted Flames. He dumps it in, then he gets filled by McCrimmon. Gary Roberts chases a loose puck. Turns on the right wing boards. He shoots one. He scores! Right in between the Calgary defense combination. First there is Merzen, and he gets hammered on the the boards by Thomas. The goal is empty, and here's Mullen. A gimme. Very quiet now. Large portion of the crowd already on the way to the parking lot. And there's the horn. Game 3 goes to the Calgary Flames. Some more pushing and shoving after the whistle. He saw the emotion of Terry Crisp, but now he realizes that there's a little hot spot developing here. Some of his players turned away and started to go back to the players' bench, only to be accosted again. Now Dave Manson is on his way toward the Chicago dressing room as Dirk Graham gets embroiled here with Tim Hunter and Brad McCrimmon. We'll stay right here in case this develops even further. Over on the far side of the ice now, a fight between Savard, just out of your and Otto, and the goaltender, Chevrier, goes in between them. Now, how often have you seen this? Chevrier's got Otto pinned up against the boards. The other goaltender, Mike Vernon, is staying on the ice back in his goal crease. They get Otto and Savard, and the goalkeeper pushed away. In the meantime, inside the blue line, the vacated Chicago goal is to the right of your picture, and here's the scene.
We're getting it all started with Dave Manson. Really gave Timmy Hunter a real good shot, sort of pitchforked him in front of the net right as the clock was winding down. And again, it wound around there. And of course, the referees were trying to break it up, but it could not happen. Mike Keenan was yelling at Chevrier before, get out of there. We can't afford to have you not playing on this thing. Chevrier's coming to Savard's rescue there. Mike Vernon now, he is saying, wait a minute, Terry Crisp was on the bench just telling Vernon, you stay right where you're at, don't join anything.
Jim Poplinski, away from what you're seeing right now. Poplinski has decked one of the Blackhawks. There he is over on the far side as you look at it. Fans who remained are now littering the ice with debris. Poplinski threw a right. I didn't see who it was that went down, but the knees just buckled.
Joe Lotto just leaving Savard up right now. Chevrier's. So that's it. Everybody's got to grab someone who understand that. This is a big mismatch between Savard and Otto. And then there's some things that happen, just sparked right away from the play. This
unfortunate conclusion to tonight's game. To the credit of both coaches and both teams, the balance of the players have stayed on the players' benches. There is a little problem in the seats behind the Calgary bench, but nothing serious. Here's the scene back on the ice. That's McCrimmon.
Well, it might have been a time when some of these benches emptied, but the National Hockey League has put some very severe rules in to prevent these things. Some big fines, suspensions, what have you. They're saying, wait, we don't need the courts to jump in this thing. We'll take care of ourselves, and they've tightened it up an awful lot. But again, this thing just sparked again. Manson and Timmy Hunter in front of the net. People don't understand, and there's so much emotion this time of the year in the playoffs. At the end of the game, just a summary of a lot of bumping and grinding throughout tonight.
Now linesman Gerard Gauthier calling Ron Finn to come over and help him separate these two. Referee Bill McCreary going around from picnic to picnic. Has the clipboard there making notations. This man has not been involved. He's thinking about going to the dressing room. He's right at the doorway leading to the Calgary dressing room area. Well, whoever that was Poplinski had got back on his skates. Is that Manson? Yes. Manson is cut. And after Poplinski had knocked him down with one punch, Manson, after being pulled away by the linesman, responded and got Poplinski pretty good. Now he's being pushed off toward the Chicago dressing room. One of the unfortunate things, not only the scene that you're seeing, but the debris that has been hurled on the ice. Sad commentary on the state of the situation here and the part of those who did stay for the end of the game.
When the players step on the, the stick, the glove, piece of paper, paper cups that are thrown all over the place.
And now the chant that has become all too commonplace in sports these days. 5-2, the Flames leading the Blackhawks and winning it, and up 2-1 now in this best-of-7 series. Oche and Finn, the two veteran linesmen, ushering the Flames back toward their players' bench, and hopefully in a moment toward the dressing room. And the Blackhawks leaving at the other end of the ice. Mike Vernon waiting. And now the crowd responding once more. Referee Bill McCreary, to his credit, came into the game with 51 seconds remaining in the first period, replacing Don Koharski, who was injured. He laid down the law immediately, sending Ramage off for holding. Then he got Graham and Ramage involved in some roughing penalties. And a long night here at Chicago Stadium. And I don't think it's over yet. Bob Murray is upset. He's complaining to referee McCreary. He first got into a long conversation with the linesman. Now very vehemently explaining his side of things to the referee. The training staff has come out to retrieve sticks and gloves. And veteran defenseman Bob Murray is really irate. Now Calgary coach Terry Crisp and his troops leave the ice. And the Blackhawks are on the way to their dressing room. The officials are huddled in the center ice area. See the coach now leaving the bench. The last Chicago player headed down the dressing room steps. And the Blackhawks are defeated 5-2.
With Yanni and Poplinski pushing and shoving, siren sounds to end the hockey game at Chicago Stadium, with the Calgary Flames taking a 2-1 lead in games. And now we have Manson attempting to go after Poplinski.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. The referee, Bill McCreary, ripped the stick out of Manson's hands and threw it in the net. And although the game's over, the fun hasn't stopped.
Hunter and Dirk Graham.
Here comes Manson. He's got his stick back.
Larmer's in there as well.
And over in front of the Chicago bench, Poplinski and Savard get going. Or is it? It's Otto. Sorry, Joel Otto, and out comes Chevrier. This could develop into a real nasty scene. Chevrier's got Otto pinned against the Hawk bench. Mike Keenan's trying to get his players away from him because he knows the trouble he'd get in if anybody on the bench got involved. And back in the slot are 4 players wrestling.
Dirk Graham and Tim Hunter are the two that were down on the ice. So far, no punches have been thrown, but it was Savard who was involved in that altercation with Otto. And the fans that remain at Chicago Stadium are littering the ice. Now Savard is grabbed from behind, and Chevrier gets in it again.
Mike Vernon staying in his goal, even though there's one extra guy. And all this going on after the Flames cinched it with Mullen scoring to make it 5-2. Poplinski and Manson are going at it now. Dirk Graham's getting into it. And this is kind of a pointless scene after a hard-played game. Both teams should probably save their energy. The referee has signaled the benches about 5 times to stay there. Vernon won't come out of his crease, and Chevrier got involved, but on a fairly minor basis.
Well, Hunter has his man pinned to the ice. I think that is Dirk Graham.
There's Savard and Otto. Denny Savard's usually a smart player, but fooling with Joel Otto may not be a wise decision.
But Poplinski is not going to let Manson up. He has him down on the ice, and linesman Gerard Gauthier is there, and Poplinski is holding him down.
Now McCrimmon, he's going after Steve Larmer. And of course the players are being pelted with all the half-filled beers. There's McCreary. He's got his clipboard out here. He's going to get some quotes from the players that we'll be able to read about tomorrow. He's telling them all to get out of there.
Somebody has been cut because there's a lot of blood over in the face-off circle. That's where Poplinski has Manson down in the ice. Now Hunter is taking Dirk Graham in against the boards. I'm not sure who's been cut over there, whether it's Poplinski or Manson. But there is a fair bit of blood on the ice. It could be the linesman, Gauthier. He has blood on his hand, and there appears to be blood in the face of Manson. Now Gauthier signaled for some help from referee Ron Finn to break this one up. And again, the spectators continue to litter the ice with debris.
And the police here dressed in orange jackets. They're all over by the Calgary bench, making sure no fans get involved there. And this debacle is going on, and some of these off-duty policemen are right out on the ice.
Now Manson gets his hand loose and takes a swing at Poplinski.
Poplinski had him pinned for about a 20 count. And Savard has got Joel Otto. Otto's apt to pick Savard up and get him, throw him right over the glass. I think it's over. Let's hope so. This is fairly pointless after the game, if not at any time.
Well, apparently most of that blood was coming from the mouth of Dave Manson. The linesman managed to separate Manson and Poplinski, and then as Manson got up, he threw a right hand at Poplinski down in the ice. I don't really think he did much damage with that punch. But finally, the players have been separated, and the remaining fans continue to shower the ice with debris. McInnes was trying to act pretty much as a peacemaker out there, as he and Yanni weren't really doing much. But as you said, Harry, this totally pointless in this hard-fought game. This all occurring after the siren had sounded to end the game, and a 5-3 Calgary victory over the Chicago Blackhawks, and a 2-1 lead in games. Mike Vernon stayed down at his end. Goaltender Alan Chevrier did get involved. He twice came to the assistance of Denny Savard, who was involved in an altercation with Joel Otto.
Both coaches did a good job at controlling their players on the bench, so no one came off to cause any trouble at all. They should be commended for that, because I'm sure there were some itchy feet on both benches as they watched this whole thing go on.
Bill McCreary hardly thought that it would be this kind of a night for him when he arrived at Chicago Stadium. He was the backup official, and he was pressed into service with 51 seconds remaining in the first period.
Bob Murray better be careful. He's trying to get at Gerard Gauthier. Finn and McCreary are trying to dissuade him, and now Darren Pang, who's been I don't think I've ever seen Bob Murray this mad, but you can't be touching those officials, and his teammates better get him out of there.
Darren Pang trying to keep Murray away from the officials.
Here comes Keenan. McCreary's asking him to get his players off the ice.